Meet Josh and Kristi Burke, founders and team leaders of the Burke team at REMAX Innovations. Josh and Kristi's real estate story begins 6 years ago when a boy and a girl had a dream of taking charge of their future and a realization that it would take a complete overhaul of their current situation. Since then, the Burkes have taken Kansas City real estate by storm and left a powerful new approach to business management in its wake. See just how this strapping young couple operates in their episode of Signature on the Industry. I recently had the opportunity to sit with Josh and Kristi Burke for a Q&A about their real estate journey and how they operate their business. My first question: how did both of you get started in the industry?
We were living in Los Angeles, and Josh and I were both working in sales, and Josh had always wanted to get his real estate license. So he was actively studying for the California real estate exam, and then you got promoted to San Francisco. And we kind of put that on the back burner, and we both moved to San Francisco, and I changed jobs. And so I was still working in sales. I was working for a tech company selling advertising. And it was a great company, but a really stressful job on a day-to-day basis. So walking to work, I texted you. What did I text you?
Basically, it was something like, hey, do you want to move to Missouri and start selling real estate with my family?
Yeah. So he called me at work, naturally.
Which I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's go. Which I don't think she expected.
I did not.
Yeah.
You did ask me if I had a concussion, though.
Yeah, I did ask you that. I was like, are you okay? Is everything good? Because she never wanted to go back to Missouri. She was like an LA girl now, you know what I mean? So she wanted to like live that life. But
once we lived in San Francisco, I was done with that. So.
San Francisco was a little different.
Yes.
I was kind of inspired by my cousin who I just watched him. He was like a couple of years older than me. He went from being a stock guy at Costco, and then we had a family friend that handed over his book of real estate to my cousin. So it was just a contact list basically. And then my cousin went from stocking shelves to like flipping houses all over LA and just completely changed his life. So I feel like I was kind of in a similar role. Like I was in retail and just, I was way up there in retail, but it was like designer stuff, which was kind of fun, but it was still kind of the same role. I was capped. I didn't want to be capped anymore, is really what it came down to. Real estate is one of the only jobs where you can kind of like dictate how much money you make. So that's really how we ended up here. I didn't think we were going to be in Kansas City doing it. I was trying to do it back home because that's where my circle of influence was, but we're here. Stoked on it.
We had too much of a good opportunity here with my family being in the business and having the opportunity to work in new construction. So that's how we jumped ship.
And there was like a little bit of, we had so many mentors here. Like her whole family I could go to and ask questions, which was super valuable. So that's really how we ended up here in real estate.
All right, next question. How do you manage your work-life balance?
What are you talking about?
I have a good work-life balance. It's all on my calendar. I do schedule watering the plants.
And I think you would
schedule watering the plants.
It's in my Google Calendar.
I love it.
And you would I'm like the definition of a workaholic. Like if I'm not at work, I'm antsy and things start going nuts. So for me, not really having a lot of work-life balance is kind of better. Like I understand the whole be with family with my kid and all that stuff, but like after a little bit of time off of work, I kind of go nuts. So for me, I just kind of throw myself into it. I like the fact that this job can allow me to work a lot.
I wish we had a little more like weekend time, the three of us. Yeah. But I'm actually, ever since we had Bryce, I've really looked at business differently. And by running my calendar really purposely, I am usually off by between 5 and 7 every day. And I rarely work Saturdays. I really reserve my weekends just for showings. And then, everything else is Monday through Friday. So
very, very smart.
I just made a commitment to myself to run my business like that. And I also consider that lots of things I do socially are actually really part of the job. So I don't feel too guilty for taking time off or taking a walk with a friend. And our son is just all about making connections.
Great answer. So, how does your team dynamic work?
So, I mean, I don't know. I've been managing sales teams for the past, 15, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So for me, managing people is the fun part of the job. I enjoy that. I enjoy getting to the root of the problem, why someone's not making the sales, something like that, and trying to motivate them and making sure that work is just as much fun as it is making money and all that. And that's kind of like where I come in, is just managing the team. So being the mentor for them and managing them. Kristi is more of the trainer.
The systems. So we actually redefined our roles this year with the team. So there was a lot of confusion because we're both team leaders. And what we decided was Josh is more of the coach and I'm more of the trainer. So theoretically, these are my processes and this is what we do for every single client and this is how we handle it every single time. And because I live so much in my calendar, I can set time aside for those specific trainings, and then I train, at least once a week each team member, and then move on. Whereas he is more flexible with his time, so if there is an in the moment, stuff is hitting the fan, he's easier to reach and he's good on the fly. And at the end of the day, happy salespeople make better salespeople. Yep. So I think he's really good at that and not getting caught up in the detail and just saying, move forward. Here's how we move forward. Here's how we handle this challenge in this moment. And I'm more the person you ask me, you're like, what should I negotiate or what should I, how should I go about doing this part of my business? Last year, we started a whole template system on Monday.com so that we could start holding different team members accountable for different tasks. And so the templates outline basically from the moment you meet somebody to the moment they close and then what to do after that. And so that's really my area of focus, and just training the team to use these resources that we've invested in and having a process that allows us to bring in somebody who's brand new and teach them everything that they need to know, and they just have to hit these points and they're going to be successful. Yep. And so I'm more the person who's creating that, whereas he's more the person who's enforcing it.
Correct.
Yeah. And we did hire Alyssa to do all of our TC work for the whole team. Yep. And we use a lot of the concierge services that Scott offers at the office. So this year when we went to R4, one thing that we realized is that we were both taking on a lot of logistical, a lot of busy work, and that those were the first things we had to take off of our plate so that we could focus more on growing the team and managing and building relationships.
Okay.
So that has been really a huge change in our business this year. Yeah.
Okay, I've got to know. What is your favorite part of being agents?
For me, it's owning the business and running the business. So you can tell I geek out on the logistics of everything and how I can make it a scalable business, because real estate sales is notoriously difficult to scale, because your talent is your people, and how you own talent and how do you retain talent and how do you grow that beyond yourself. And if clients are coming to you for your talent, how do you share that without losing the experience? And so for me, the part I'm most excited about is breaking down what it is exactly that makes a good customer experience and putting it all somewhere where I can train people in bulk to handle the business that's coming our way so that we can scale to an area that I can't on my own.
And for me, it's every single day in this job, there's a new challenge. So you're never going to be bored. And then I love people. So to be able to work with so many different kinds of people every single day, every week, every networking group, every thing that we sign up for, that's what I really like about this job. I mean, let's get real. This job's fun. People are jealous. People are jealous of our job a lot because it's so much fun. You get to go out with people and have lunch and dinner and drinks and all this stuff.
And we get the best clients. Yeah. I don't know what we did to deserve this, but we really do. I mean, our clients, there's so many of them that I feel like I wish I had more time just to hang out with them.
Right.
We just get really lucky.
You know the last question. What's your craziest real estate story?
Well, are you going to talk about the naked lady? Or?
Ooh, the naked lady? I thought you were going to talk about the dead dog.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, the dog wasn't dead anymore. I mean, it was just kind of goo.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh no.
You want me to talk about the dog?
What sounds more animated? I feel like the dog might be more animated. Maybe.
I think that's about as deep into that as we want to go.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Good for you.
I thought of another one that we can also tell.
Go for it.
Okay.
So my clients were out of state, and so I was going and viewing all of these houses for them remotely and videoing them.
Okay.
So I was going to a suite of houses, and he wasn't with me. And I get to this one, and it's really dim. And so I'm like, oh, this is weird. They have all their blinds closed. It's really dark in there. And so I'm walking into the living room, and everything's so dark, and it feels weird. Like I'm getting those Spidey vibes, but I'm also trying to film for my client, and I'm trying not to let my own bias influence, my clients. So I want to still show them the whole house. And I swear I'm hearing voices, but at this point I'm like, this is in my head. It's all on me, and I'm like trying to concentrate on the things that were not creeping me out. For example, like they clearly had a child in the house, so there was like a high chair. And so I'm like, all right, there's a high chair, like a child lives here. Everything is gonna be fine. So I go outside of the backyard. Backyard's beautiful. The exterior of the house is gorgeous. So I go back inside, and I'm like, all right, time for the basement.
Oh gosh.
So I open the door, and I walk down the stairs, and mind you, it's like mainly unfinished. And at the bottom of the stairs is like the remnants of a seance with a candle lit.
Oh my gosh.
And like, I don't remember, it was something was around, it was like a round table with a candle in the center. Maybe some bones, I don't know. It just was really creepy. And so I walked out of the house. I was done. I was gonna advise no to my client.
No, guys.
So I walk out the door, and I swear I hear someone say goodbye to me.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, where's the Ring doorbell? No Ring doorbell. So then my clients are asking me, what happened in that house? What did you think of it? And what do you say? I'm pretty sure it was haunted.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
yes.
All right. Listen.
Put your seance stuff away.
Yes.
For showings, and open your blinds, please.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Signature on the Industry. But let's take a second to listen to Kristi's advice.
Hide your bones.
Until next time.